I'm Stevie Stud Pup, and this is Stud Pup Media, the channel where I give you the highlight reel on all the movies and pop culture topics. This is it. Don't get scared now. Time to review Home Alone. Home Alone, one of my top 3 favorite holiday films, up there with Die Hard as well as the classic animated Grinch. And with the holidays approaching, it's time to give the gift of holiday film reviews, and I'll start with my favorite one, Home Alone, directed by John Hughes. Known for classics such as Breakfast Club, Weird Science, and basically anything that was not rated R back in the 80s. And this film definitely has that classic John Hughes feel to it, with the coming-of-age inspirational story to it, a ton of light-hearted humor, but this is by far his most violent film to date. It of course stars Macaulay Culkin, aka Mac. Definitely his most famous role, where he's got the brilliant mind of an engineer mixed in the body of a 10-year-old with a potty mouth. This was around the time when Mac was becoming the most powerful and richest kid on the whole planet. Stay tuned for my review on Richie Rich in the near future. Yikes. Some fun facts from the movie Journal World. This film made $476 million in 1990. It's nuts. That's like $38 trillion today. Well, close anyway, but definitely baller status. And of course, Mac was born for this role, but he still had to audition. Over 200 little ones tried out for the role. But with his role that he performed in Uncle Buck, John Hughes knew that this kid was made for this role. Many of these lines were actually improvised by a lot of the cast members, which is something John Hughes definitely encourages on set, including the infamous line, "Do you guys give up? Are you thirsty for more?" And little Mac even drew out that little battle map that we see as he's planning his little plot to take out the bad guys. I thought that was kind of cool, how the actors can really put their personal touch on it. And I actually got a pretty good chuckle out of this one. Joe Pesci was so upset that he had to control his cursing on set that this actually explains why he's constantly muttering, "Mother fizzer, 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 fizzer." But it's time for the breakdown. I'm going to start with the open, work my way to the end, and give you all the juicy tidbits in between. Let's kick this off with the review of Home Alone. No better way to start a family film off than with family chaos ensuing. It's the night before the big trip to France. They're waiting on their 40 pizzas or whatever to be delivered. And we got Joe Pesci waiting downstairs disguised as a cop. And he's basically wanting to check on all the neighborhood homes to just make sure everybody's got all the proper precautions in place. Say that 5 times fast. And he does a very believable job, I might add. Then we meet Kevin, the family sasshole. He's a little 9-year-old punk, and he does not take too kindly to big bro Buzz smack talking. So what does Kevin do? He throws his fists. After causing a big scene, he gets ridiculed by the whole family and then eventually sent to the 3rd floor to sleep with the famous bedwetter in the family, Little Fuller. Yeah, that's pretty terrible punishment. Nasty. And I gotta ask, how did Fuller not think to wake up Kevin? And the next morning, the family oversleep. They have to rush out the door with their suitcases in hand, still in their jammies, just to make it to the airport so that hopefully they don't miss their flight out. They arrive just in time, but within a few moments of taking off, they realize they forgot something. Or someone. Kevin! Back at the McAllister residence, Kevin's looking around. He thinks he pulled some Houdini shit, basically because he made his whole family disappear. He decides to throw a soiree and pull some jackass stunts. Yep, he's sledding down the stairs, he's shooting guns in the house. We got a mini psycho on our hands. And eventually, Kevin, the protagonist, does bump into the bad guys, Harry and Marv, the antagonists of the films, as they're leaving from a robbery. And little Kevin recognizes Joe Pesci from earlier in the film as that cop, yet he's dressed as some sleazeball now, in some utility truck, and so he knows instantly something's fishy around here. They try to chase him down to no avail, but they do eventually figure out where Kevin lives, and they know that his parents are not there, so he is home alone. How many times do you guys think I'm going to say this title in the review? Go ahead and comment down below. I think I'm probably up to about 89. What do you think? Kevin does actually end up overhearing their plans where they plot to basically break into this little dude's house and kill him and take all of his goodies. So yeah, burglars, go big or go home. Meanwhile, Kevin decides to pull some MacGyver jigsaw type torture trap nonsense where he rigs his whole house with explosives and booby traps like it's something out of like I said, a Jigsaw movie or possibly out of a Rambo film. It's insane. Then after he gets this all ready, he goes and enjoys a nice delicious mac and cheese, and I might add, this looked really tasty. When Harry and Marv do finally arrive, they're put through a gauntlet of hell. Harry has his hand mutilated along with his head torched. Marv not only stomps on a nail, but then he just proceeds to stomp on some glass ornaments, all while barefoot. And then both have their faces smashed in with paint cans, and then at the end drop 20 feet where they both go face first into a brick wall. Kevin is one little resourceful booger, I might add. Hopefully he puts these talents to good use one day. But if not, he still knows how to torture some bad guys. And the bad guys are absolutely relentless. They're basically like Jason from Friday the 13th or The Walking Dead. They're supernatural pretty much because they won't stay down. Kevin proceeds to go to a neighbor's house where he's called in a robbery. He knows that these guys are going to chase him down there, and they're actually one step ahead. That he goes downstairs up through the basement, they just go into the front door and meet halfway in the middle where he was not expecting it. Just before Joe Pesci decides to nibble off a couple of Mac's fingers, an old guy that we're introduced to earlier in the film as the town Leatherface is actually an older nice guy with just a scary beard, and he ends up taking out Harry and Marv by just destroying their faces with a snow shovel, and I was just waiting for him to basically slice their heads off with this damn thing, but it never happened. Nope, they're just hauled off to jail where Kevin watches with glee. And the next day, Christmas morning, Kevin has his wishes come true as the family arrives home just in time to celebrate and where he can boast about how he became a man. You know, he did his own laundry, he went grocery shopping, he had his first threesome. It was pretty awesome. But the family is just stunned that the home is still in one piece and thankful to be there and that Kevin is okay. Let the end credits roll, but that's not the end of the story of Kevin McAllister and the bad dudes Harry and Marv. He does have a follow-up sequel, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York City. It's literally the same exact plot, except they take it from, I think, Chicago in this film to New York City. Instead of some old crazy guy that saves the day, it's some old crazy pigeon lady that saves the day. And basically the booby traps are stepped up even more. Like I said, it's just like the Jigsaw franchise. Basically, you gotta take these torture devices and step it up to the next notch. We want blood and guts, folks. But I might have to do an actual breakdown, a review on that film, because it's actually pretty good. Which is why I do recommend this particular film. If you haven't seen Home Alone, you're nuts. What have you been doing all these years? Check it out, though. It's on Disney+, which I pretty much believe everybody in the world has up to this point. And if you don't, get it now, because it has this film, the sequels, along with many other classics. I'm actually looking forward to sitting down and watching The Mighty Ducks pretty soon, so stay tuned for those as well. If I'm going to try to pick through all this shit and try to find a few kernels in those turds, some, garbage time moments, I guess I would say that Macaulay Culkin's always overacted in a way, if you will. To me, he's always felt like he's memorized every single line like his life depended on it. That's not his fault, because we all know that behind the scenes, that's pretty much what his dad treated him like. He better be damn awesome or else. I won't nitpick too much on that, because I still feel he was a real highlight of this film. He was born for this role, and his delivery is pretty top-notch. One thing I wanted more of, though, was Daniel Stern. This guy is a physical comedy genius. He constantly had me laughing throughout with his one-liners, and his delivery is also fantastic, and just his physical presence, it really just gets your attention and just keeps you locked in. And especially that scene where he has the tarantula put on his face, that still gets me to this day. But yeah, gang, I do highly recommend this film, especially with the holidays approaching. It's got that beautiful scenery with snow on the ground, Christmas trees all around, even a funny interaction with a Santa Claus. This may be a family film, but it stars a kid who doesn't play by the rules. But it's definitely got something for everybody in the family. Like below if you absolutely love this film like I do, and I want to thank you again for watching it. And make sure to smash that subscribe button with a paint can or a snow shovel, or just your thumb will do. But that way you never miss any of the action. Until next time, everybody, Stud Pup signing off.